Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good morning, whatever your time zone may be, hello. I am Phobos and Adamant, friends call me Phobos, and today I'll be playing the indie horror game known as Faith by Airdorf Games. I've played both this one and the sequel. The sequel came out quite recently, so I thought I'd stream the first one and then maybe the second one a bit later. I'll just let the introduction play again. It's based on kind of the exorcist craze back in the, I think it was the 80s, 90s.
September 21st, 1987. It's been 1 year since I first went inside that house. I have to finish what I started. What I am about to do has not been approved by the Vatican.
And there you have it. Yep, that's the introduction. I'll just begin a new game. So yeah, like an exorcist, you know, priest goes to rid the devil, etc., etc., as you often see in those old films, and the newer ones. There's been quite a few new ones recently. So yeah, as you can see, it's quite a retro kind of CRT design. Quite a bold choice, but I think it works really well. It kind of lends itself to more of a otherworldly sort of horror, in which quite a lot of the details are lost, and yet it's detailed in such a manner that it's quite abrupt. For instance, if you pause when a monster is on the screen, you can see it's animated in this sort of style, and it is, I think, one of the more terrifying sights to see in horror games recently. Very otherworldly. Anyway, if I do this in time, you can use your cross as a priest to get rid of him. So here we go. John Snur. Yep, so you can repel demons with your handy crucifix, as you can see. Oh well, here we go. Not only can you repel monsters and demons, you can also use it to search, well, exercise objects and retrieve notes like this. So you're invited to come celebrate Nate and Jason's 6th birthday. Saturday, May 3rd, 12 to 4 PM. Turn right on at 1338 Snake Meadow Hill Road and go straight past the well. So I guess straight on to the house. Oh dear. Okay, there's the house.
It's locked.
But unfortunately, it's locked. I do like the voice synthesized sort of style as well. It's very, like I said earlier, it matches the style really well. Really well. This is why I don't have any viewers, isn't it? Be gone! Stuck on a tree. Ooh, there we go, and go away. So yeah, just keep an eye out for objects like that stand out, and you can get more lore. So, public lecture by Carl James Osborne, Connecticut's historical connections to witchcraft, Satanism, and the Beast System, Wednesday, 8 PM. So I was a bit confused at first when I first played this game. The way the forest works is that it kind of loops around left to right. So every screen up and down kind of loops around left and right. So you see we're back at the well. So if we go a screen lower and to the side again and keep going, we'll find another object to interact with, which isn't a rock. Same to you, buddy. Yep, you can exercise the pedal. I caught some people walking through the woods around the house last week. Not kids, just regular adults. They told me they got lost while hiking. I pointed them back towards the road. The whole thing just didn't feel right. I think I should go dig up Bob's rifle from out of storage. My favourite line. 3, 2, 1.
Chaos reigns.
Chaos reigns. Or squirrel. Okay, I think that's everything on this sideways. Then we'll go one more just to make sure. Yeah. And then drop another one. Be gone. Ooh, dead tree. There you go. Tremendous. Today I noticed Amy's favourite tree looked like it's dying. All the needles are falling off it and the bark is peeling. I guess I'm more upset about it than Amy is. She's totally absorbed in her volunteer work at the clinic. I guess it's good that she found something she's passionate about, but I've gotten ugly looks from some of the women at the book club. Kathy and her religious friends won't even talk to me anymore. So yeah, I think that's all of this row. I think one down is the road. Yep, the road. So I'm going to go up past the well. Running, running, running. Yep, up past the well. And look on this x-axis? Yeah, x-axis. Now, see there's more things here. Bob, the kids and I miss you more every day. The twins and Amy have started their next school year here at home. Amy keeps asking when she's going to be allowed to go to real school. I think she's getting cabin fever. The twins are having no problem occupying their time. Yesterday they came up with their hands covered in blood. I guess they found a dead deer and thought it would be a good idea to touch it. I think we might have a coyote problem, because when I went with them to look at the dead deer, it was a pretty gruesome sight. All this just a day after the twins' birthday party. Can't wait until you come home. So obviously things have been amiss with the family recently. Oh, and here's a little outbuilding. The Martins' house lies about 100 yards off Snake Meadow Hill Road. There is almost no driveway, trees just out in the middle of a gravel path that is mostly covered in grass. It was difficult to find the house, especially since it was already dark when we arrived. Father Alfred seemed to know where he was going. He simply drove straight ahead till he arrived at the house. In the headlights I saw an old shed off to the right of the path. The one we just found, I guess. Father Ulrid explained he would rather perform the exorcism away from the house, but the Martins had insisted that Amy remain inside. He complained that having the family present makes it difficult to proceed with the elements of the rite that may seem harsh to the layperson. And if we look inside, we'll find the key. Ooh. And we should be ready for that. So yeah, quite a lot of the, not jump scares I suppose, danger moments in the game can be, they're highlighted, you know, they're shown like the little demons sneaking up on you through the window and stuff like that. So now if we proceed up, oh yes, there's one more gravestone. Mr. Martin, it has taken longer than expected registering the markers on your property as a historical cemetery. Our officers had difficulty identifying who was buried there. The inscription on the gravestones are written in a language that cannot be identified. I have sent the gravestone rubbings to some of my peers at the University of Connecticut. I will reach out to you when I get a response from them. All the best, Dara Henderson, State of Connecticut Historical Society. Just some coffee. Needed that. One thing, when I first played this game, as stupid as it sounds, I thought that the character you play as here, I thought that that white bit was his face, and that the large bit above it was like a turban or something like that. Until I realised, after Faith 2 came out, I've played through this game multiple times, got all the endings, that the white bit is actually his the thing that priests have, collar, the priest collar around his neck, and the blue big thing is his head. So I guess I'm just an idiot. Make of that what you will. I don't know. Is it just me? Probably just me. I can't remember if there's one more interactable object on this level. Did we already use it? I think we already used the tree, didn't we? Yeah. So if we go up, we die. Woo! More tears. And that's what happens when you die. Yeah. Quite often you have to watch out. Quite often the demon will appear randomly, well not randomly, from the edge of the screen and surprise you, which is a bit less than ideal. Okay, so that's the road. I think there's a bit of black magic weirdness going on when you jump around a bit, but at least from the road, if you just go straight north, from your car on the road, if you go straight north, you'll go past the well in 2 screens. Ta-da! And if you keep going, if you keep going north, then you'll reach the Martin's main house. There we go. Ooh, you see that in the window? And we're inside. Mr. and Mrs. Martin greeted us at the front porch. Mr. Martin led us downstairs to the basement and explained that Amy was down there in restraints. I felt for him. There was guilt and shame in his voice. Amy was in the very back of the attic in the chair, perfectly calm. That's interesting. I never noticed that before. So it's down the stairs to the basement, And then Amy was at the very back of the attic. I'm not sure if that is a... yeah, must be a typo. Perfectly calm, staring at us. It is hard to describe the look on her face. It was not the kind of look a child gives you. I never noticed that before. I'm pretty sure that's a mistake. That's and there's Amy and her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Martin. Nate. Yep, that looks like a healthy child's. Yeah, no stranger thingsness about that at all. Can I exercise the plant? Nope. Should I be able to? Always. That's how the devil gets you. Great, I'm being haunted by a devil I can't see. Whee. I do like how the mirrors work in Faith and Faith 2. It's all just a brilliant house style art scheme that just really works, I think. Take a look upstairs. Banish the devil from the toys. Have a look at this note. I guess I was the only one who thought to check in the attic. When I got up there, it was freezing cold. I found Amy standing in the back, looking straight at me, like when I first met her downstairs. We spoke briefly, although it was frustrating to talk to her, or it. I experienced a bit of deception from the demon. During our conversation, she uttered my mother's first name, and in other instances spoke perfect Latin. I called for help from the others, but nobody came, so I raised my crucifix and began the rite again. So obviously the first exorcism didn't work out particularly well. Bob must be stationed somewhere in the Middle East because he sent over this weird-looking doll for Amy's birthday. I'll ask Anish about it next time we have book club. She looks like she could be from over there. Amy didn't seem excited to see the doll. I think she'd rather have a phone instead. Or maybe seeing a baby doll makes her feel self-conscious about the working at the clinic. Yellow Duck of Doom. So let's head down to the basement. I did stick my head in here, didn't I? Yeah. Yep, so down to the basement we go. Unless I can exercise this banana, but I don't think I can. Nope. The banana is holy enough. Nothing bad ever happens in dark, dank basements. Definitely not in exorcist-based horror films. And mannequins with sheets over them are always good. Always good. Remember, the creepiest horror is when stuff looks like it might happen, but doesn't. And then there's, you know, the blood and... yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's for not... ugh.
She is here.
Despite lack of fidelity, it's still scary as hell. Now you gotta look out for Amy coming to get you. See on the floor? and then one of those will be real and the other ones will be fake. So you've got to find the, crucify, exercise. Ooh, that was close. Exercise quickly and all of them and find out which one's the real one. Mommy. And if you're a bit too slow, it's Mortis for you. Ooh, I'm being lucky. First time, every time. I just want to grab that note that I didn't get down here. Amy's parents could not endure witnessing the proceedings of the rite for long. Mrs. Martin was hysterical, and the thing that was inside of Amy was feeding off of the fear. Father Alred asked me to take the Martins upstairs. I was physically worn out, but managed to get them back up the stairs and into the kitchen. Amy was screaming, "Mother, Mother," the entire time. Finally, I got them to sit down with me at the kitchen table. After a few minutes, we couldn't hear much of anything down in the basement, so I went down to check on things. I found Father Ulred lying on his back, unconscious, with his arms spread out wide. Amy was not in the chair. Very lucky. So for this part, you've got to just keep defending yourself. Keep yourself physically fit through exercising. I apologise. Yep. Until that happens. And then you can head back upstairs if you're downstairs. I think you can stay on the upstairs if you really want and keep doing that up there. But eventually you'll hear the door unlock and the attic will be opened up for you. So you go up the stairs and see a lovely little blood trail. Karen. The church might contact you in the few days to tell you their version of what happened to me. I want you to hear it from me first. A year ago, I was involved in the exorcism of Amy Martin. What they said in the papers was about what happened isn't true. She, my superior, when I confronted her, she managed to cut the power to the house and her own parents with their own. I have to go back to that house. The nightmares I'm having are real. She's still there, waiting for me. I can still help her. If I don't come back, know that I love you and I'm sorry. John. Yep, things didn't go well. Spooky. Let me take a spooky sip of coffee. Okie dokie, let's get to exercising.
My God, what happened to you? Do you think my face is pretty? I have to finish what I started. She's my priest.
Here we go. The power of Christ compels you, I guess. Run away. Here we go. Same sort of thing. You get 4 images, one of which is real, and you have to pick out the real one, hold it, and then she'll hit you from the other direction. You need to dodge. For the first stage, anyway. Whoop. And if you quit, you can get some extra hits in like that. Dodge, hit. Dodge, hit. Pretty simple if you know what you're doing. Dodge, hit. Dodge, whack. And soon... Yep, here we go. Lovely. Now she follows the pentacle lines, I believe 3 times, to down to the bottom, up to the top. Oh no. 2, 3. Ah, damn it. Yeah. Mind out for the Mortis. Mind out for the trailing sigils around the floor. I always forget those. 2, 3. Just keep. It's really obvious what you need to do, but I still suck at this bit. You gotta hand it to them, huh? Out of the way, up, down. 2, 3 to there. 2 down to the bottom, to the top. And I believe the sigils get bigger. Whew. So just be careful with that. Up to the top, down to the bottom left. 4 times, 5 times. And then she'll start sending a man in black after you. And then she does a goofy. Woohoo! Woohoo! Now we need to go after her. Down the stairs. Back to the ground floor. Kill her. Here's the rifle we read about earlier.
A gun with 1 bullet.
With 1 bullet. Good thing is, if you waste it, if you go and come back into the house, they'll have reloaded it. So just in case you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. Like I just did then, like I'm an idiot. At least I've shown it off quite well.
A gun with 1 bullet.
Right, so now you can get one of the, I think, 5 endings of the game. So now if you come out, you can notice that the forest is a bit different. You can see clearly defined paths. So one coming to the left, one down and one up, so we just came from. So each path leads to one option to the to end. So if we go and follow the first path, we'll find Amy. Well, we can finish it. With this done, we can just head south. Past the well. Keep going south. And eventually it'll open up back out onto the main road and to your car. And there's one ending. Oops. Ending of 1 of 5. Murderer. Police arrest man accused of murdering missing girl. A New York man is in custody after confessing to the murder of a Sterling girl who has been missing. John Ward of Palmyra? Yeah, Palmyra was pulled over on Snake Meadow Hill Road last night after a state trooper reported hearing a gunshot. The officer thought it might be poachers. The officer said that Ward was acting nervous and suspicious after being pulled over. When questioned, Ward repeatedly said, "I killed her." According to the police report, the officer called for backup after Ward became increasingly upset, saying repeatedly that there was a demon inside of her. Ward was taken to Sterling Police Headquarters for further questioning. Ward then confessed to the authorities that he shot and killed Amy Martin, a 17-year-old girl who had been missing for 9 days after escaping from a mental institution. After a brief search, police located Amy's body in the woods near the now abandoned Martin home. In addition to receiving a gunshot wound to the stomach, Amy showed injuries suggesting that she had been thrown out of a second-story window of the house. An officer who helped recover her body told reporters that Amy's face had been mutilated in a very brutal manner. Ward was found dressed as a priest when he was pulled over. It is suspected that he impersonated a priest to gain his victim's trust, after Catholic authorities in Rome confirmed that Ward was not an ordained minister. The rest of the article is missing. So obviously, another weird thing, and obviously I might be interpreting this wrong, but there's quite a lot of different conflated interpretations of the story, whether or not you actually are a priest, whether or not this is all in your head, whether or not you just murdered someone.
A gun with 1 bullet.
Or whether or not there is actually some sort of demonic occurrence here, and that any conflicting information is just put there to misdirect you. And the same can be said for Faith 2, which I'll play. I might have 0 viewers at the moment. Well, 1 viewer at the moment. But, yeah, I'll stream it. And I'll upload it to YouTube. Because, yeah, and it really is not even for me at this point. I just really want to highlight how fantastic this game is. And its sequel. They really deserve the attention. And here you can see this man in grey near the shed. If you shoot him and head down south, back to the car, you'll get another ending.
I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. I shall not be afraid.
Whoops. Two of 5, father and son. Esteemed Cardinal Gifford, with all due respect, you cannot grasp the importance of the work I am doing for young Michael. Without being present here, Michael needs my help more than ever. In the past few weeks, I have made great progress with Michael's affliction. Nevertheless, whatever darkness is inside of him fights back with increased ferocity. We must not let up the fight against the enemy at such a critical time. There is another reason why I dare not return Michael to his family, nor let them see him. The darkness inside him afflicts his soul, but it also causes a terrible strain on his body, so that there may not be no mistaking what I mean. I've enclosed a photograph of young Michael during one of our sessions. The photograph is missing. Yeah, the weird spidery crawly demon thing is Michael. If you play Faith 2, you see a bit more of that story. Okay, on to ending number 3. Just grab the gun again.
A gun with one bullet.
A gun with one bullet. For anybody who's interested in this game and in supernatural stuff, full stop really, there is a podcast called The Chilluminati, which is run by Jesse Cox and a couple of other YouTubers that in his group, you know, because the Scary Game Squad, if you know of them, they run Chilluminati. I think I've already done this one, just making sure. Just stick my head up. Yeah, the Chilluminati podcast, look them up. One of their episodes, they deal with various supernatural or weird phenomenon, and they look into it, do a bit of research and discuss it. But they played this game for the Scary Game Squad episode, and they got forgive me, I've forgotten your name, but the lead designer in Airdorf Games on the show to talk about faith and kind of the scare of the 80s and 90s of, you know, demons and exorcists and stuff like that. So it's a good episode. I suggest you watch it. Okay, here comes ending number 3. You shoot the dead squirrel, which is a slight overkill, I will admit, but there you go. And back to the car again. I think you're seeing the pattern here. Ending 3 of 5, The Offering. Hello, Amy. I'm sorry to hear about your parents' decision. It's hard for people to trust what they do not understand. I know you are only 17, but you are clearly an adult, and you are able to handle yourself, able to handle your own life. Do not let your mum and dad stop you from following your dreams. If there is anything I can do to help you, just let me know. We are having a get-together at the clinic Saturday night, and I would love for you to stop by. We still consider you a part of the team, and even if your mum and dad do not, we hope to see you there, Gary. So a bit more of a culty ending there.
A gun with one bullet.
A cult which is once again expanded on in the sequel slightly. It's always all a bit odd and difficult to interpret. Like I said, is there a cult? Is there other demons? Or is it all just in John's head? It says someone goes south, past the well, and head right. And commit some animal cruelty. Well, shooting, yeah, more animal cruelty, seeing as we shot a squirrel that was already dead. I suppose that counts. And then once again head back to the car.
I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. I shall not be afraid of the terror.
Oops. Oh dear. What a terrible predicament. Predicament. I'm sorry. Ending 4 of 5, The Hunter. Unidentified body discovered near wrecked car. The site of a deadly car accident was discovered along a road near Stirling this morning, along with the body of a person who has not yet been identified. At 6 a.m. this morning, a resident called to report an accident along Snake Meadow Hill Road. The driver of a silver sedan had swerved off the road and struck a tree. The spokesman for the police commented that the body appeared to have been dragged several yards away from the car deeper into the woods after having been ejected from the front windshield. It was noted that the body had been mangled beyond recognition. Investigators suspect this was probably the work of coyotes or demonic deer, one of the two. Police also noted that parts of a cleaned white-tailed deer were found in the trunk of the car. For a white-tailed deer, a hunter typically gets £75 meat. However, it appears that the victim of the accident was only able to carry £25 back to the car, which, yeah, anybody who played Oregon Trail they'll get that. One more time. Grab the gun.
With one bullet.
And then go as south goes. Straight back to the car. And this one, you do need to be a tiny bit careful. Obviously, there's not, if you do mess it up, there is you get sent back to the house, so it's not the end of the world. But just keep an eye out on the car screen for that guy. It's still terrifying. Hi, Michael. Shoot him, and bye, Michael. Thanks, Airdorf.
I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. I shall not be afraid of the terror in the night, nor the evil that walketh in darkness. Because I have made the Lord my refuge. Because I have set my love upon Him, therefore will He deliver me. I shall call upon Him and He will answer me. He will be with me in trouble. He will deliver me and honor me. I can't explain what happened at that house. I can only have faith that I did the right thing.
There we have it. I believe this is the canon ending. Yeah. Ending 5 of 5 when Faith endures. I believe this is the canon ending. I think Faith 2 has this to lead directly up. So, police animal experts investigate Chupacabra. El Chupacabra remains found near Stirling. Stirling PD is enlisting the help of local animal experts from the University of Connecticut after the remains of an unidentified animal were found near Stirling. The remains of an animal, which some residents have calling a chupacabra, were discovered on Snake Meadow Hill Road by a motorist yesterday. The animal had apparently been struck by a vehicle and parts of its carcass were scattered across the road. Police say they initially investigated the gruesome scene because the motorist had discovered the remains had told them they appeared to be of a person. However, arriving at the scene, police concluded that the remains were of some kind of animal. As a matter of public safety, we want to be sure about what exactly we're dealing with here, said a Stirling police spokesman. This is clearly not a deer or a coyote. If it's a mountain lion or exotic pet that escaped from its owners, or an animal with rabies, we need to know about it. Animal experts attached to the investigation would not speculate about what kind of animal had been found, although they commented that the animal was hairless, anemic, and apparently suffered from the rickets. a vitamin D deficiency that appears in animals and children who have not received enough sunlight. And that's it. That's Faith. All 5 endings. I do like, on a quick note, I do like the menu design as well, of having it in Latin until you hover over it. Okay, that's Faith Deluxe version. I pulled it off of itch.io. You can get it there as well for quite a very cheap price for a very, very, very well made product. If you haven't played it already, obviously I've shown it off everything already, but it's still a great game to play through, and I hope you pick it up. And I hope that if you did enjoy it, you'll have a look at Faith 2 as well, which I'll stream at some point. But if you get the chance beforehand, please give it a go and have a look. Alright, thank you very much for watching this if you have watched this. If you haven't watched this, what are you doing here, you fool? And have lovely days. This is Phobos in Adamant. My friends call me Phobos. Signing out.